Ladies and gentlemen, screw it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. For this is Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Suck it, Disney.
Yeah.
I'm going to Universal.
Yes.
Cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? I'm Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm the issue that with that warning, Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of fourth wall breakage as we talk to the camera. Constantly.
Yes. Constantly. Hello. Acknowledging the audience.
Hello, audience.
Hello.
How are
Hello,
you?
audience.
And hello, listeners.
Yes, and listeners as well. Yes.
Viewers and watchers and listeners and smellers.
Yes. Oh my.
Oh my.
Okay, we are back to our regularly scheduled programming following last week's Epic Comic-Con episode. So let's dive right in to the weekly watchings or fortnightly watchings, since we have a lot to talk about. Fulya,
Yes.
hello.
Hi.
What have you been watching?
I haven't really been watching a lot, but I will say I have finally finished the X-Men animated series.
Diddle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. All caught up.
And all caught up just before heading to the cinema.
Nice. Nice.
I'm very proud of myself for that because it meant that I got to understand some references and then also just remembering characters that popped up. We shall talk about that movie later. The other thing I did watch that I actually got back into thanks to Netflix, and that's The Rookie. The last time I watched The Rookie was probably back in 2021, and I started season 4, and I was watching it at the same time that it was being aired, and then I kind of fell off it. Not because the series was bad, it was just my means of watching was changed. So yeah, I'm glad that Netflix has brought all of The Rookie up to season 5 now, which meant that I was able to jump back into where I left off season 4. And you know what's funny? I actually jumped into it, and it's almost like I hadn't missed them. Like I jump into it and I remember what's happening, and I'm good. And that was actually really cool. I actually was very happy to be able to jump back into a series that I hadn't touched for 2 years and still know what the hell's gone on. So
That's good. It's a mark of a good show.
yeah, very, very good show. And yeah, so I managed to sort of watch through quite a few episodes this particular past week. So yeah, The Rookie has been very nice. Sort of, kind of like, it's kind of my comfort food of crime drama comedies.
Yeah.
Because The Rookie is a cop show where it's got all the drama, but it's also got some good humor in it as well because of certain situations that happen in the episodes. And especially because of the fact that Nathan Fillion's character is like one of the oldest rookie cops when they first start. But they finally have become fully fledged police officers now for the LAPD. And man, Nathan Fillion's character is so smart. He's always thinking ahead and is very calm in very stressful situations. You would not have thought about that when, like, to see some of these other characters jumping into it. Some of them don't like fully handle it very well, but then they have to think about their training and all that sort of stuff. And they're, you know, as an officer, you're constantly being trained, you're learning new things, and then all that sort of stuff. So it's been really good. The most recent episode that I watched was an episode about an arsonist who decided he had fun kidnapping and killing people. He was very psychotic in the way that he did it because Nathan Fillion's character got caught by him, and man, that was a drama and a half. Because I was like so stressed for him. Because it was like playing hide and seek, but the killer was gonna kill him, but he's already incapacitated Nathan's character. What is his name? Damn it!
Rookie. His name is
He's a
Rookie.
Rookie
No.
McRookster.
No,
Like his name was Castle in the Castle.
no.
His name was
That's-
Firefly in Firefly.
John Nolan. His name is John Nolan.
Yeah.
So
John Nolan. Okay.
I was very stressed for John when he got caught by this killer. He was already incapacitated by him, like injured legs. He's, tied together by a rope. He's been sprayed in the eyes by some chemical. I don't know if it was pepper spray or something else. So he had a really rough time, but he stayed calm and managed to get out of that situation pretty quickly, even though it took the cops forever to find him.
Sounds like the cops.
But it's really good. It is really good. I'm loving the Rookie. I'm so glad to be able to get back into it. And I don't know what's going to happen once I hit season 5, because season 6 just recently finished airing over in the US. So I'm not 100% sure if and when it'll come down to onto the streaming service. But hopefully now that Netflix has the rights to the Rookie, they might bring it on soon. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah. And that and the fact that I am 1 episode away from finishing MasterChef. I know, it's been forever.
Oh, wow, you're almost there.
Almost.
I've got one
That's
grand
exciting.
final to go. That is it. The grand finale, and it is a 90-minute episode. So I'm like, I can hold off on that. So yeah, I am nearly there, even though it finished like a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. Better late than never. Anyway, Michael, what have you been watching?
Well, from a couple of weeks ago, I was finishing off my X-Men rewatch and first time watching. And I mentioned last week that I finished Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. And yeah, they're okay, but not good. And I understand the history of what they were trying to do. Like Dark Phoenix was originally going to be like a 2-part movie thing, but they crammed it all into one, and the merger of Disney and Fox, so they didn't really want to deal with it, really. They just chucked it anywhere. There was no promotion or anything, and it just died on coming, which is a shame, because the actors in it are really, they tried to do what they got given, which is a shame, and and it just didn't really make sense half the time, and it just had a little whimper at the end, which is sad. But who knows? Maybe they'll come back. Spoilers for what I'm going to talk about later on. But this week, I realized that the last season of The Umbrella Academy is going to be coming out. And I haven't watched a single episode until this week. Because I've watched the first season and a half. So I'm halfway through. You haven't seen it, Fulya?
No, I wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
You're saying you haven't seen a single episode, even though you mentioned the fact that the next season's coming out. Why all of a sudden are you intrigued in watching it?
Because it's on one of my to-do lists. It's above Firefly.
I was going to say, you've never really mentioned watching the Umbrella Academy recently.
It's been on my list, the Netflix list for years now.
Okay.
And I wasn't looking for anything new. And then this last season is going to be the last season. So it'll be good to just cram it all in once, because which lucky I did, because the last episode of the first season was a cliffhanger. I thought, I would have hated that ending if I had to wait.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I'm in this situation right now. So I've only watched the first season and a half, and it's good. It's it definitely has the comic booky storytelling, and how it's an ensemble cast, and each character has their own little adventure and bit, and it's very well balanced. I'm really enjoying it at this present time. Who knows if I go, oh, that was a waste of time, and who knows? But I like what it's heading towards. Like at this present time, like I'm only halfway through, and I not to spoil it. If you're going to be watching this Fulya, I don't know. Maybe not. Is it on your list? No. Anyway, it sort of had my feeling of what Wednesday was, of having like Elliot Page is like a well-known star, and she was playing at the time. They were playing a character that didn't really have much to do. I was like, well, why you're here? And then she has a lot to do in the final episode, and so on and so on. So I was like, so that's why you're here. Yeah, and I did appreciate. I noticed it when I was watching. It's like this is before Elliot transitioned, so I did appreciate that they would have retroactively gone back and actually changed his name, because it would have been the previous name. I enjoy that fact. And I'm really enjoying it. So it's a good romp, and it deals with the aesthetic. I really appreciate, because it's like this futuristic punky sort of take, and I'm enjoying it so far. So it's going to be dropped on the 8th. So I'll talk about that later next week. And I will also mention, I forgot that Batman Cape Crusader also came out. And I thought, shit, I'm doing like 3 episodes a day for Umbrella Academy, and they're an hour long. So I was like, what do I do? I've only seen the first episode of Cape Crusader, and I like it. It harkens back to the animated series, like all the way back when it's Bruce Timm. So, and he actually has come out to say, well, the guys actually wanted, like, do you want to do a continuation of Batman, the anime series? And he said, no, we've already done that, so we'll do something new. And it is new. But it definitely has the same feeling of the animated series, which I like. Yeah. And the first episode has the Penguin, and they gender swap the Penguin, which I thought it was good. And I thought, is there really much call for the gender swap? Like, being devil's advocate, it's like, well, the Penguin is very established in his role of being like a gangster and all that. Will it work with a female? And it does. They actually made it so she's more of a patriarch. No, not patriarch. Matriarch like version, and she does something that is absolutely gut-wrenchingly, like, I can see why she's a villain, because it goes against all your nature for being a womanly, motherly figure to do something like that. And I thought, I don't like you for the good reason that you're a villain. So that does help. So I can't wait for the rest of it when I finish doing Umbrella Academy, and I'll get back to you soon. Last thing, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine 3 times. 2 legally. Other times, so on and so on. And the 3rd time was me and the wife. We have done something that we haven't done throughout our lives together. We did a double feature at the movies.
Ooh.
And Deadpool and Wolverine was just the afterthought because we could. But the first one was we went to see The Crow. Not the new Crow that's coming out this year, but the old Crow. And this
Oh.
was the 30th anniversary of the Crow. So I'm watching this 30-year-old 90s-esque sort of type of show, type of movie on the big screen. Was a little bit jarring because some of the shots were very motion sicknessy because they didn't really have like Steadicam back then. But I really did appreciate it. It's sort of my first time watching. Like, I know of The Crow and I've watched like bits and pieces of it, but I haven't really sat down to watch it. And it's one of her favorite films, which is kind of ironic because she doesn't like superhero films or even comic book films, which is strange that we actually watch two in the same seating, as well as her not really knowing much about Marvel Universal's things, but she sort of said she sort of wanted to go watch this watch Deadpool Wolverine because she's heard so much about it. It's like, do I need to watch it? And she says, yeah, you can watch it. Like, I've watched it for the first time. It's like, yeah, there's a couple of things that she will go over her head, but she doesn't really need to know, basically. And having said that, she wants to go again. She wants to watch it again.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite amazing. And yeah, and The Crow is, it is what it is. Like, historically, if you know the history, it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a sad time because knowing the backstory of it, and also seeing Miramax is like, you don't really exist anymore, do you? Yeah, so it's definitely a time capsule in itself, as well as and it's a movie that I haven't seen in a while. It's sort of a movie that does take itself seriously. There's no wink and a nod to it. It's very sincere, and I haven't seen movies sincere for a very long time. And I'm thinking, when was the last thing? It's like, I was thinking Poor Things, but even that has a weird, like, metatextual, like, laughy at it. So yeah, it's sort of interesting that I haven't really seen movies that actually have that sincerity to it, and not like judging itself on the way out, of saying, sorry, we know this is a bit crap, but haha, we know. Yeah, so I really appreciate it. I do recommend The Crow if you ever watched it. Yeah, a bit brutal at sometimes. Yeah, and it'll be interesting watching the new one that comes out. That's got Bill Skarsgård as the Crow, as the titular Crow. Yeah, so that's been my week. Mostly Umbrella Academy and Deadpool and Wolverine. A little bit of The Crow. What about you, Kendall? Do you like The Crow? Were you that person? That sort of person?
No, but I had a friend who was that person.
Had a guy at uni a bit like that. It's
yeah, really?
It's like, any chance he goes, oh, can I be the Crow? It's like, yeah, you can be the Crow.
It's great. Yeah, weekly watchings, huh? It's been a minute since I've talked about things that I've watched. I gotta remember I watched a lot of stuff for the last couple of weeks. What do I start with? Well, I suppose I'll start with I watched a couple of movies. I had myself a little double feature night, a movie night at home on Thursday. And I watched these two movies that are directed by a female British director called Rose Glass. And that was I watched Saint Maud and I watched Love Lies Bleeding. And they were both really, really good. So Love Lies Bleeding came out this year. It has Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien in it, and Ed Harris being very menacing. And yeah, and it's basically kind of about Kristen Stewart works in a gym. Katie O'Brien's a bodybuilder in training for this contest, and then they strike up a romance. And but then Kristen Stewart's dad, played by Ed Harris, is actually like running guns through his. He runs like a, I don't know what they call them, a gun field where you go and shoot. For
Gun
pleasure.
range.
Gun range, thank you. And then Kristen Stewart has a sister in the movie who is married to one of his workers who's an absolute asshole and is abusing her. And then Katie O'Brien's character kills him. And then everything just fucking goes to shit after that. It was really violent in parts and really intense. Very well shot. Some really interesting storytelling done with the visuals that I really liked, like flashbacks and things. And it was sort of a thriller, I suppose, a crime thriller, with a love story, and then a really weird but also kind of basic ending. But it was good. Like, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. And then Saint Maud was a psychological horror movie that only went for like 85 minutes. It was short. The pacing was sharp and tight and excellent. And I really liked it. They probably could not have made that movie any longer if they'd wanted. I kind of have been describing it to people as sort of like Black Swan. So in that sense, where you have a main character who's a little crazy to begin with, but then becomes obsessed with something, and then that obsession drives them further into madness. In this movie, so the main character, Maud, played by Morveth Clark from Rings of Power. She's Galadriel in Rings of Power. And she plays this sort of like a hospice nurse who gets sent to look after this woman who's dying of cancer, and she was like a famous dancer, and she just for some reason becomes obsessed with her and their bond and their friendship and stuff. And she's also really just obsessed with God. She kind of has one of those late Christian awakenings, I suppose, in life, where she's like, okay, I'm meant to serve God, and I'm here for a reason, and I'm yet to see what that reason is, and I know I'm gonna find it eventually. And she thinks that this woman is her purpose, and that obsession with her faith and her God turns into just something completely bonkers. And the movie kind of really blurs the line between reality and unreality, because you don't know if she's crazy or if there's actually or if the devil himself is actually working through her. It's very intense. And the ending blew me the fuck away. Afterwards I was like, oh god. I was just sitting there in my seat going, oh fuck. Like, it was intense. And yeah, like not jump scary kind of a movie, but just like, yeah, really, the imagery in it was very visceral in parts, and just, yeah, and it's very much stuck with me. So I really liked that as well. Both very good movies. And to wrap things up for my weekly watchings and to lighten it a bit, I had another kind of marathon, and I watched all 4 Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Hey.
So I watched number 1, number 2 back to back last weekend. And yeah, it's so good to watch number 1 again, because I've seen it once or twice before, and I just really love it. Like, it's just so much fun. It's just pure 80s Eddie Murphy at the peak of his powers, just doing what he does best. I mean, it's funny how every movie copies the same formula, but it does. And I just kind of like, my favorite part about Axel is how he leans into the undercover thing every time he gets into a new situation and he has to talk his way out of. He just makes up a name, makes up a character, and just, pretends.
And if that doesn't work, tangent.
Yeah, literally. yeah, and then it was funny in the fourth one with his daughter, and he tried to do that, and then she ended up being better at it than him, in the end. And then at one point he was like, forget it, I can't be bothered even trying.
At the bellhop.
Yeah, but yeah. But yeah, number one is great. Number two was good. They definitely get worse in quality as it goes on, but still enjoyable enough. Number three was fine. I really want to look more into what happened behind the scenes, because the credits rolled and I saw that John Landis directed that, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious? The John Landis directed Beverly Hills Cop 3, and it didn't work." Like it just seemed like, from what I read, that him and Eddie wanted to make two different movies, and what we got was the result of that mess of them not being able to figure out. Like, Eddie wanted to be a bit more serious with Axel this time around, and John Landis was like, "Nah, be funny."
Yeah, be funny. Kill people with helicopters. Anyway.
Yeah. And then Eddie's just like, "No, I'm just gonna do my own thing." So yeah, number three was a bit of a weird one, but it was fine.
But essential.
It was fine. But essential. They're all essential. Yes.
To explain
They're
the fourth
all-
one.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Remind me what part of the fourth one has to do with the third one.
All because he has a love interest in the third one.
Oh yeah, because that's supposed to be the mum, I guess.
Yeah, that we don't see in the fourth one.
That we don't see in the fourth one. Yeah, true. Yeah. Number four was good. I enjoyed it. I really liked it, actually. And I really liked how they leaned into reusing the 80s music. Like, they brought back a lot of the songs from the original film, along with the theme, of course. I really liked Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I thought he was great. And I'm like sitting there watching it going, he can hold me and kiss my forehead anytime. Like, I don't care. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want. It's fine.
You Bruce Willis looking motherfucker.
Hey, he is a good looking dude.
He's hotter than Bruce Willis.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
He's
100%.
Robin, quote unquote.
Yes, he was Robin, quote unquote. Yeah, but yeah, he was great in it. I really liked him. It was really cool to see. I've forgotten the names of everybody already. Well, I know Judge Reinhold was Rosewood, and I love Rosewood. He is my favorite character in these movies. By far, I adore him. I was really sad. Spoilers for Axel F, but I was really sad when he got kidnapped, captured, held hostage, and all that. But you know, he's fine in the end. It's okay. They brought back Taggart for Axel F because he wasn't in the third one.
He probably didn't want to come back.
Because probably not. He quote unquote retired, and then, you know, this movie opens up and he's fucking chief
of police.
Of police of Beverly Hills, where I'm just like, what? And then they mentioned it in dialogue about how he, you know,
I thought you retired. I came back.
He came back again. Yeah.
Couldn't stand my wife. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
This is an 80s film.
Yeah. So that didn't age well. Yeah. But yeah, no, good. And yeah, and I didn't mind his daughter. Like, I've been hearing things about her that, you know, in terms of her performance, I thought she was fine.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, they had a good rapport on screen, you know, and you could feel the tension between them really well, and it kind of was sad. Like, I hate when they do the trope of, like, you know, parent abandoning the kid, or you know, or the absent father sort of thing. But
tell me about it.
Yeah. But it worked though, and it tugged on the heartstrings a bit, and yeah, and Kevin Bacon was just chewing the scenery in every single scene. He was chewing that bacon.
Not to spoil it for Fulya, but could you tell first time he was on screen?
Could I tell?
Could you tell?
Yeah, I
who he
recognize
was?
Kevin Bacon.
No. His character. Could you tell?
Clearly not, because I'm not understanding the reference you're trying to make. That's my bad.
Could you clearly tell who was the bad guy in this film?
Oh yeah, I knew he was going to be the bad guy. Yeah, like it was so obvious they were setting him up to be the bad guy.
Like the first scene that we saw, he was like, okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was
No
he
surprise
was
there.
Yeah, he was that typical, like you just said, it's an 80s film. Like they leaned into that typical trope of like this is how the villain is introduced in every single one of these movies, or pretty much the villain is introduced in this way, and
Yeah,
sometimes they're friends of the cop, sometimes they're not, but like,
I do miss that
yeah. Yeah.
quite clearly.
Um
Yes, let's do
yes.
this.
And then of course they had to bring back Serge, because why not?
Axel.
Yeah. Aquel, he calls him.
Aquel.
Aquel. Very funny. That shtick with him in number 2 with the gun was just so bizarre. Oh, number 3. I can't remember which one. I think it was number 3, maybe. No, with the guns. That was
he
something else.
Hang on.
Yeah, he had the. I'm pretty sure it was a number 3. He had the gun show situation.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, he made that survival gun that had a built-in TV and stereo and CD player, and
Yeah, he turned into Q when he was an art curator from the first one.
yeah,
Your trajectory is weird.
yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoyed my time romping the streets of Beverly Hills and Detroit with Axel. It almost made me wonder by the time I was done. I'm like, why doesn't he just move to LA? Like, he's always going back there for shenanigans.
That's
Just
yeah.
he's just
Homesick.
I guess he's just, homesick. Plus, I suppose we got to find a way to keep Paul Reiser appearing in the movies. So
And
there's that.
there's always some excuse to get him back to California. Which is
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
Always some
like
excuse.
the fact that Beverly Hills Cop is in the Happy Madison universe?
Oh my god. I was like, why is Shooter McGavin here? I was not expecting it. I was just literally like, oh, it's Christopher McDonald. Oh, he's playing golf.
He's playing golf. And they don't name his character.
And they don't. I wonder. Yeah, didn't the internet make a thing about that when the movie came out?
Probably.
Probably.
When I saw it, I was like, come on.
He's getting back into his game. He's learning his swing.
He
for the
loves that
upcoming,
character.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Probably his favorite character he's ever played.
That's why I think they should do like a Cobra Kai of Happy Madison 2. He becomes the good guy.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah, exactly. Do a Johnny Lawrence bait and switch. Yes, do it. That'd be so good. I'm here for that. All right. That's enough for me. That's enough for the weekly watchings. That's enough. It's time to move on now into the next segment, which is, of course, the nerdy news.
Nerdy news.
This is the news in Nerdy News. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostess, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
It's nerdy news time, and completely stepping down after last week's epicness, we've only got a few things to discuss today, and we're going to start with some big news out of Netflix this week. Was that we finally have a release date for Squid Game Season 2. They took full advantage of the Olympics being on and put out a little teaser that featured a sprinting race with some athletes being overtaken by Koreans in green jumpsuits. And then, of course, you know, the sight of the Squid Game masked men. And then the red light, green light doll at the end there as well. Yeah, so really cool to see finally Squid Game is returning after almost 3 years. for about 3 years. It'll be dropping, season 2 will be dropping on Netflix on Boxing Day, so a nice, slightly belated Christmas present for some. On the 26th of December, just before the end of the year. And they also said that it's going to end with its 3rd season. They're going to do 3 seasons all up, and it's going to end next year. So we're going to get the 3rd season next year. We're not going to have to wait that long to see how the show and the story ends. So that's really cool and very, very exciting. There was a little description of the 2nd season that I have here. I'm going to read out. So it says 3 years after winning Squid Game, player 456, played by Lee Jung Jae of The Acolyte, remains determined to find the people behind the game and put an end to their vicious sport. Using this fortune to fund his search, Gi-hun starts with the most obvious of places. Look for the man in a sharp suit playing, I'm going to say it wrong, Dakji in the subway. But when his efforts finally yield results, the path towards taking down the organization proves to be deadlier than he imagined. To end the game, he needs to re-enter it. Of course he does. Of course, yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that at all. It's
Here we go again.
Yeah. Again. It kind of feels like the Hunger Games a little. Like, you know, they got to figure out a way to keep the plot going. Oh, let's put Katniss back in the arena.
With a little sprinkleness of John Wick revenge story.
Yeah. So this sounds really great. This sounds awesome. I'm so excited to watch this. Season 1 was such a, you know, another one of those pandemic shows we all binged, and it was such a bright light during that time, just, you know, to have, for everyone to have something to talk about, and it was just mind-blowing. And, you know, to have this little Netflix show from Korea completely take over the world, you know, for a time, it was pretty nuts. So I'm looking forward to seeing Squid Game take over the world once again. It's gonna be sweet. Mike, are you keen for season 2?
So keen for this. And a big surprise is season 3. So looks like they've been doing this back to back. So therefore, that's why it's been bit of a longish time of getting the second one up. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because it's also binge worthy. It's one of the shows that me and my wife watch as well, so that's a bonus. Not necessarily we watch the same things at the same time, but it's it's kind of rare that we find things that we like together. Weird relationship, but you know, me and my nagging wife need to get our retirement 80 style. But yeah, really looking forward to this, and it just looks and sounds great. Can't wait. I mean, I could sell for just one season, but getting more, even good, even better. And three and done. Cool.
3 and done. Let them tell their story and roll on out on a high.
Yeah, global Squid Game.
Global squids, all the squids.
He takes down all the 1%.
All of them. All right,
Wipe
moving on
them
into
out.
our
All of them.
all of them. Moving into our next bit of the news, some more TV news. This was announced just before Comic-Con. We have a premiere date, speaking of premiere dates, for the final season of What We Do in the Shadows. I know, I'm sad too. This will be the 6th and final season.
But 6, which
amazing.
Very well done, and still going strong, really.
Yeah, it's super popular. It's been a massive success. Like, you know, the movie itself is great as a starting point to this world, and just, you know, could have existed by itself and would have been fine. But then the fact that they developed this show and found this amazing cast with these incredibly funny characters is just, yeah, no one saw it coming, I don't think. So it's really cool to see not just a comedy show be this successful and this popular, but like a supernatural comedy show that you don't see that very often. So that's very, very cool. So we also have a little description for the last season as well here, which goes, after a very brief stint as a full-blown vampire, Guillermo is re-evaluating his life. Who is he if not a familiar who will do anything to please his master in hopes of one day being turned into a vampire? Meanwhile, the vampires are re-evaluating too. When their former roommate reappears after a 50-year nap, they realize how little they've done in half a century. Not one goal accomplished, not one dream pursued, not one part of the new world conquered, except for their street and part of Ashley Street. Yeah, sounds great. I can't wait. I'm sad it's ending, but again, you know, they're going out on a high. It's just a ton of fun, and you know, then we get to binge the show forever and ever and ever.
Buy it on physical media and keep it forever.
Yeah, they haven't brought it out on DVD in Australia yet, which is annoying.
Wow, you can make your own.
There are ways.
Where there's a Will, there's a Tom, Dick, and a Harry.
Yes, indeed. Indeed there is. Mike, do you have any thoughts on what we do in the shadows? I know you're excited for the last season.
Yeah, just hurry up and finish. Nah. I'm really looking forward to this. Do no wrong. It's sad that it's ending, but sometimes good things need to finish before they overstay their welcome. So I'm glad they're finishing it on like way up high, and it's going to be sad. And the description sounds like the first episode, so I like that. or at least the first season. So it's going to be full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
A full circle.
So
moment.
when is this coming out, Kendall?
Yes, well, the premiere date for the final season of What We Do in the Shadows is October 21st.
Yeah.
They're going to be dropping the first 3 episodes on that day, and then each 3, and then the final 8 episodes after that, because there's going to be 11 in total, will go week to week.
Sweet.
So
October 21st, just in time for Arbor Day. That's the one with the trees. Cut down trees or something. I don't know. It's an American holiday. I don't fucking care.
Great. All right. And lastly, in our news this week, this is pretty cool and interesting, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about this, because apparently, according to the one and only Bruce Campbell, Ash himself,
the man, the myth, the legend, the chin.
The chin. To sink 1,000 chins. Evil Dead is going to be turned into an animated series in some form. Because, Bruce Campbell is recently promoting a new project that he's in, and he was quoted as saying that they're working on making it animated, that he's going to voice Ash, which is really cool, because, he's getting older, not younger, and he can only do so much now, and
How
he
dare
hasn't
you.
played the... How dare you?
He can play Ash forever.
He hasn't played the live-action version of the character for a few years now, since the show Ash vs. Evil Dead was cancelled. And apparently he said he'd retired the character maybe or something. But yeah, he's like, no, I can still voice. My voice still sounds pretty much the same. So we can make this happen. So yeah, I don't know what form it's going to take, but it's if it's anything like anything else out of this universe, it's going to be scary and very funny, and just a good old time. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what the animation style looks like as well. There's so many animation houses in the world. There's just a million different looks that this show could take on. So I am looking forward to it. Mike, what do you think about this? You're a big fan of the series. What do you think? How do you think this will turn out as an animated thing?
Yes, I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead and everything that has come before and after it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because it definitely feels like, well, the series, not to spoil it, but it does end on some sort of a cliffhanger, but also sort of it can continue, and where Ash sort of ends up in this. And unfortunately, the series Ash versus Evil Dead didn't really have its it had its bigger audience when it was went over to Netflix, because it was only on like Star Now or whatever that one is, like the CBS one and it didn't really have much of an audience there until Netflix picked it up, and then it was just going gangbusters, and it's like, oh, can we have more? It's like, well, no one watched it, so we couldn't do any more. So and that's the big unfortunate, because that series was actually good. It actually through the line of having the Evil Dead series where it was, because it only had it had the first three, where the first one was a big indie sort of nasty VHS sort of thing, like very, very cheap. And then the second one is sort of like a retelling, but also a different continuity as well. And the third one was Ash going to medieval time and fighting evil there. So it was just weird gangbusters, and just enjoyable, just huge dumb fun horror comedy. And then the series came back and sort of tied everything together, and just and Bruce Campbell being is he really is he really playing a character, or is he being Bruce Campbell, or is it Ash? We don't know. It's just there's nothing there. So and yeah, after that he is getting on in years, and he says, well, I can't really do it anymore because I am an old man. But he's actually voiced Ash before for a Evil Dead video game, so he does do like voiceover stuff as well, and hopefully this will be a continuation for the Ash versus Evil Dead, and maybe have a full stop at the end, or it just continues until everyone dies, like Sam Raimi and everyone, until everything's finished. It just keeps on going.
Keeps on keeping.
So I'm really looking forward to this, and the way that animation is sort of going good at this present time. I mean, we've been seeing it that adult cartoon shows are really popular, like Invincible and Diabolical, even for the boys animation stuff. And just having it ultra violent, funny comedy stuff. I think even you would enjoy it, Fulya. But you have a lot of catching up to do.
She's not gonna do that.
Well, you got three of the original movies. You got the two sort of remake, sort of retellings, and you got the TV show as well. So, and it's all on Netflix. So you'll be good.
Michael.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Do you like Sam Raimi? I mean, do you like Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Then you will like Evil Dead.
No.
Especially when Doc Ock is being on the surgery table. That just goes.
Not gonna happen.
That just goes full on horror.
Not gonna happen.
I'll get you one day.
Look, the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was close enough to being almost horror-like.
But it wasn't really. That's what you saw.
And that's as far as I got to go with Sam Raimi.
Okay.
I'm happy to go that far. That's enough.
Okay.
Okay, all right. That's the nerdy news. We're done for this week, which means now it's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up for the trailer park, where I can find the file. There we go.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
Right, it's trailer park time, and we're gonna kick things off by throwing back to a week and a half ago when the trailer for Joker Folie à Deux dropped. Yes. This is our longest and best look yet at the upcoming sequel, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga as Joker and Harley Quinn. A little more taste of the musical element here, but not a whole ton. Gaga was interviewed not long after the trailer came out, and she said that apparently she altered her singing voice for the character. I feel like part of that's obviously due to the fact that she's Lady Gaga and she has a very, very recognizable singular sort of sound.
Very succinct.
Very succinct, yeah. So makes sense that she would need to, sing in a little bit of a different way in this character. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks really, really good. It looks great. I'm looking forward to returning to this world and seeing how mad things get after the events of the first film, and how exactly Harley ends up in the throes of love with the Joker, and what happens there, and the musical stuff, how that works and all fits into it. And yeah, it's just, I think it's going to be really good. It looks really, really good. I'll be curious to see if Joaquin can get another Oscar nomination from this, or even another Oscar win. I don't know if that'll happen, but because the first film really felt like an anomaly, and I still haven't rewatched it. I've still only seen it the once. And I might rewatch it before I go see this, maybe, but it's still kind of very much in my brain, so maybe I won't. It's been 5 years nearly, so that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it looks great. I don't have a lot to say. I was in immediately, so they don't have to sell me on anything on this. But yeah, I can't wait to see it, and also to see Lady Gaga play a character like this. She hasn't been in many things. I've seen her play sort of a villain in American Horror Story, but this, Harley Quinn's a different kettle of fish. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what she can do with the character. Fulya, what did you think of this? I'm not sure if you were interested when we talk about the first trailer, but does this trailer do anything for you?
No, I haven't even seen the first one, so I don't think I'm going to be seeing this one, to be honest.
That's okay.
Not really interested.
You just don't like Batman.
I don't like DC.
How dare you?
I think the Joker films, or the Joaquin Phoenix iteration of it, it's just, I think it's a bit too close to the realism side of things, and I think that's what kind of puts me off a little bit. And I don't know, and it is more on the dark sort of drama type of genre, so I'm not too sure. It's not it's not the sort of film that I usually watch anyway, so it doesn't really interest me in that respect, so sorry.
It's all right.
That is okay. Mike, what about you? What did you think of this trailer?
It was good. Definitely gave you a feel of what the movie would end up being like. Like, we know the Joker's story from the first one, if you've seen it. Present company excluded. But having the element of it being like a musical as well, so it definitely has that feel of a somewhat musical, but only in one person's head. It feels like we're seeing it through the Joker's eyes, and that looks that does look interesting. And other players, are they also part of the same dream, or is it? It's going to be a very interesting continuation of what these movies are being. Like, is it an untrustworthy narrative, or is just a character study of a very different mine and set, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and yeah, Lady Gaga's a win, I reckon. I mean, being the second version of a live action Harley Quinn, cool, all for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's different variations of Batman, and people have their favorites. And yeah, we'll just see. So when's this coming out?
Well, Joker, For All You Do is coming out in just under a couple of months now, on the 3rd of October.
Whoa!
Well.
2 beans.
2 months.
2
2
months.
months. 2 months.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of 2, our second trailer.
Oh.
Oh. The easiest segue of my life. Our second trailer today is by a director the three of us adore, and that is, of course, a trailer for Kevin Smith's The 4:30 movie. I am so excited for this film. I've been excited for it since he announced it on whichever podcast it was.
They all blend.
They all blend. But yes. No, I just love the concept. Like, it's set in the 80s. It's set in a cinema. It's about, hopping from movie to movie, and there's, a romantic storyline in there, very much a teen romance going on. And then boys being boys and
Yeah.
funny, random and weird cameos. I'm looking at you, Justin Long. But yeah, it's got all the trademarks of a Kevin Smith movie with, a bit of charm as well thrown in there for good measure. And yeah, it looks fun. And I like the fact that he filmed it at his cinema, Smodcastle Cinemas. Because now we get to see what it looks like on the inside. From
And
all the
also
way down
save
here.
money.
And so, yeah, without having to go.
Yeah.
And him saving money.
Yes, and him saving money by filming on something that he owns. I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, it looks great. It looks fun. I hope it's a success for him. I think it might be. Yeah, because it's definitely in that zeitgeist of 80s nostalgia. And I'm kind of excited to see what kind of fake movies that there are. Like, we already got a taste for one in this, where his daughter Harley Quinn was playing that, like, what if Pretty Woman was also a nun? That was very random and only something that could have come from Kevin Smith's brain, and I love it. So yeah, I'm very much going to check out the 4:30 movie. How about you, Fulya?
I am not going to check out any movie. I had no idea this was a thing. I'm looking at the title when you typed it up in the doc, and I was like, what is the 4:30 movie, huh? I was so confused. And there was no hype around it either. So when I went to YouTube to actually watch the trailer, like, there was no listing on my homepage. There was, like, no automated, this is the movie. Like, nothing came up when I searched it. But when I hit enter and the trailer came up and I saw it was from Kevin Smith's channel, and I was like, oh, makes sense. Fair enough. I mean, look, I had a little chuckle out of it, but like, here's the thing. I didn't really like Clerks. I didn't even finish Clerks. So I don't think this is gonna be my kind of humor. His humor is strange to me. It's nothing. It's not something that I can really get behind, to be honest. Like, I'm sure he's a great like director and writer and all that sort of stuff, and we saw that through Masters of the Universe reboot. But I think I prefer that side of him doing the writing and directing and whatever compared to this. It's not my kind of genre. I'm sorry. The humor's just too cringy for me.
Well, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
You sit over there in your little trader corner. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Your little Trader Joe's.
Look, I even resubscribed to the podcast now so that I
did
can
you?
listen to it.
Ah. See, if you hadn't have unsubscribed, you would have known what this movie was.
It was on the socials.
Honestly, even if I did like hear him talk about it and announce it, I probably would have been like, oh no. To be fair. So, but look, all power to him. I know he loves to have fun when it comes to making movies, and that's what filmmaking should be about. Just to go out there, have fun, be creative, and just showcase what you want to showcase, essentially. And if that's your passion, then go for it. And I hope that at one day in my life I get to experience that side of the filmmaking side of things. So we'll see.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you, Fulya. I appreciate your thoughts as always. Mike, what did you think of this trailer?
Yeah, it has a certain charm to it. Very indie as Kevin usually feels comfortable with. Because that's his start. And subject matter, yeah, definitely has that sort of John Hughes sort of feel, like the teenage coming of age. So it'll definitely be catering more towards the younger demographic. And unfortunately, yeah, we're out of that demographic now. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get much out of it of seeing teenagers like just running amok. It's like, I've turned into an old man now. Don't you dare. I'll be watching this like, I hope my children aren't going to be like this. I was never like this as a kid. But it definitely has a charm to it, and it's got all Kevin's mates in it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, like your old favorites like Jason Lee and others. I think I saw Brian Johnson in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the guys from Clerks were in there. Rosario Dawson was in there.
She's
Justin
a
Long, as I
Ahsoka.
said.
What's she doing here?
I
I wonder if her role's going to be even bigger than her role in Clerks 3.
somehow doubt it, even though her role in Clerks 3 was obviously very small.
Yeah, that annoyed me. I told you about my feelings.
Yeah. I know we talked about it. It was good. It was good, but it wasn't what we wanted.
It's what the kids would say, mid. Very
Indeed.
mid. Yeah, so it just looks charming, and it would be a good part of his filmography and criteria. And if it gets a distributor in Australia, when would it be coming out, Kendall?
Well, I can't answer that question. So, hopefully, I'm hoping it comes out on like a streamer here, like Stan or Netflix. That'd be cool. But until then, if you're in the States, you can catch the 4:30 movie at the movies on the 13th of September.
And the session will be 4:30.
4:30. Man, he's gonna milk that. Can you just wait until the movie comes out and he just starts talking about it on the podcast? It's like, so there's gonna be sessions every day at 4:30.
At least one.
At least one a day.
And then he can stretch it out for like a month release.
Yeah.
And it'll stay like that.
A whole month.
Come
right.
and see the movie where it's set. This movie theater. Haha.
Yeah, literally. Watch the movie in the theater where it was made. Yep. That's a selling point if ever there was one. Okay,
I
we've
wonder
got one
if
more.
he'll go all meta on that, and there's a scene in a particular movie theater where you get to see it, and it's like, haha, you're sitting on where that. No, I don't want to be crude. Because I know it's done with children.
Yes.
Yuck. Yuck.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, we
Yeah.
have one more. We have one more trailer to talk about.
We do.
Speaking of Netflix, this is a trailer for an upcoming series starring Jeff Goldblum. It's called Chaos with a K.
Chaos Theory.
Yes, so I think we might have talked about this on the show before, but it's basically a series where I think it's like a comedy drama, but it's where Jeff Goldblum is actually Zeus, I believe, or at least his. I'm trying to look at the cast, and the cast is not helping me. I'm pretty sure he's Zeus. He looks like he's Zeus anyway.
Goldblum. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Olympia.
Yes. Yes. I don't know why. Okay, there. Why did I have to scroll all the way down there just to see? Anyway, sorry, getting distracted. Yes, he's Zeus. I was right. Yeah. And you know, we're lording over humanity and doing problematic things, and humanity looks like it's gonna rise up and fuck shit up, and the gods are gonna fuck shit up back in their direction. It looks like a really cool visual sort of a show. Like the use of like black and white cinematography as well is in there. It's just kind of interesting. It's got me wondering what that is, what the purpose of that is, and what kind of scenes those are in. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it looks interesting. I just need to see an actual description because this teaser didn't really tell us too much about the story. Oh, it literally just, according to IMDb, it literally just says it's a modern day contemporary retelling of Greek mythology.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're basically just gonna get all the myths retold through a modern lens. Okay, I'm down with that. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And cool to see Jeff Goldblum, you know, do something a little different. He's not really playing a character that he normally plays. You know, Zeus has a bit of a dark side. You know, so it'll be kind of fun and interesting to see him explore that. And I'm sure he's gonna get to be funny and zany and very Goldblum-y, as he's known for. But yeah, I might check this out. I might. We'll see. Fulya, what did you think of this? I know you love Jeff Goldblum so much.
But do you love him enough to watch him?
But I can't. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling you're going to be 3 for 3 on not watching anything this week. What do we have?
Okay, so when I started watching this trailer, I was like, "Ooh, Jeff Goldblum, cool." And then, like, sort of watched it a little bit, and then it got to the serious, dark parts, and a lot more of of the violent side of the trailer. And I was like, "Oh no." Don't get me wrong, I loved seeing Jeff Goldblum do something that wasn't really comedy. It's more dramatic. So I've never really seen him do too much drama.
You should watch The Fly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a comedy.
Oh yeah, totally a comedy.
Yeah, it's produced by Mel Brooks. True story.
Amazing.
I don't know that I'm going to be watching this.
But it's history.
It's ancient history.
Yeah, it's all Greek to me.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't don't know. Look, I might watch the first episode to see where the vibes are at with this show. But I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm like I said, I'm undecided if I'm gonna check it out either. But yeah, but it looks interesting. But that's okay. That's fine. Mike,
Yes.
what did you reckon?
I thought it was good. Like rewatching it is, it's like it is the Greek mythology, being adapted into more bite-sized pieces. So that'll be very interesting. Like, it's sort of what sort of clinged it for me. It's like seeing a guy chained up onto a wall. It's like, I know that guy. That's Prometheus. Because he had a cut on his side, and that's where the crow pecks his liver out every single day. Ha ha. So they're going truthful on this. So therefore, it's going to be bloody, gory, and funny. Because if you read real Greek mythology, it's messed up and weird and kinky. Can't wait for the kinky. Yeah, so it's going to be no holds barred on that. So it's very interesting. And the first time I saw it, I thought, oh, really? We're going back to the well again, doing Greek stories again? But then again, shit has been coming out from the Olympics, and a lot of Christians are annoyed that they supposedly made fun of the Last Supper, and it wasn't. It was Dionysus, like, partying with the Olympians because it's the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with Christianity. You morons. Anyway. Anyway, it's kind of like that. Christianity took the mythology from different places and made it, that's ours now. That's our iconography. Get your own. It was there before. And now it's mine now. Oh dear. So yeah, I'll give it a go. I might do the Fulya thing and watch the first episode and see how it goes. And if I like it, it's like, I'll do the Roman thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Roman, Greek, there are similarities. I mean, Roman took from Greek, and that stories, so many stories, and reading the same thing over and over. Sweet. When is this coming out on Netflix?
Yes, well, it's coming out on Netflix on the 29th of August. So we've only got like 3.5 weeks to wait.
August.
That's Trailer Park done, everybody.
Sure.
We are rolling on out, which means
yes,
it's time.
It's time
For the moment. The segment. The section. The part.
The place.
The spot. The thing. The dead in the pool we like to call.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler cast time. Popcorn culture.
Let's discuss it.
Yes. Let's
fucking discuss it.
go. Yes.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort. Okay, we're here. We've arrived. We've arrived. We're pumped. We're ready to discuss our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. As Fulya said, this is a spoiler discussion. We will be talking full spoilers. So if you don't want it ruined, then good luck, because spoilers are everywhere on the internet right now. Yeah. Like, immediately.
I am so surprised. I managed to last a week without being spoiled on anything.
I'm very happy for you. Because, yeah, I still can't get over the fact that they showed the movie at Comic-Con and then had certain cameos, there's certain actors that were certain cameos at Comic-Con last week. The day it came out.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I'm so glad I watched it the day it came out.
Same.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing, though, right? Like, I saw those images, but it didn't click for me
That's good.
because I didn't like watch the panels or anything like that. I didn't go out of my way to look for them. And then I went and watched the movie, and then I realized, oh, that's why they were there. Okay. It was a spoiler and I didn't even know it, but you know what?
That's a good spoiler.
Cool. That's a good spoiler.
Fine, that's good. I would have murdered someone just because, you know, I had no chance of avoiding anything Comic-Con last weekend. So, yeah, I would have been fucked.
Same.
But
I
hey.
had COVID, so I watched every single panel because
Yeah.
I wanted to be entertained. I was annoyed that I had to stay home with my family. So, leave me alone. I'm watching. I'm
watching my escapism.
Yes. I don't care about Star Trek, but I'm watching that.
Amazing. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Cool. So just for overall thoughts, I mean, Mike and I kind of gave ours a little bit last week, but just to reiterate, well, I should say I haven't seen this repeat yet. I've still only seen it the once. So if I forget anything, forgive me in advance. I did watch a little YouTube video prior to recording to recap a bunch, and I remembered a couple of things, so that was helpful. But yeah, I am keen to go watch it again. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I feel like I still like my takeaway is that I just wish there'd been more of the OG Deadpool cast in it. Like, you know, more of Vanessa and more of you know, Dupinder and Blind Owl and, you know, that whole gang. Like, you know, those characters are definitely a small part of the first two films, but they are an essential part, I think, and you know, especially when this movie's plot focuses on having to, you know, Deadpool wants to save those people. He wants to save that world that they live in. We don't get to see a lot of them except for at the start and at the end. But it's a nitpick. It's not really a problem. It's just a nitpick. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. You know, there's not a lot of plot to it, and it's fine because you're not there for, you know, you're not there to watch Logan again. You're there to watch Logan's adamantium skeleton be thrashed around while InSync's Bye 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 plays in the background. Yeah. That's what you're here for.
Yes!
It's a Deadpool movie.
It's a Deadpool movie. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this, get into it. So, yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Fulya, I'm really keen for your thoughts on this. How did you feel about Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh man, I came out smiling. I was so happy by the end of it, and I was like, I am so glad this movie is a thing. I loved it from start to finish. So good. Granted, there were quite a lot of gory scenes, which I did kind of look away on some of them.
Yeah.
Even though I kept reminding myself, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's digital, it's fake, it's fake. But apart from that, I managed to get through it, and it was so good. I was holding my breath a bunch of times. I was laughing out loud. You know, like I'm that annoying cinema goer that will like out loud mention something. Like not necessarily like while watching the movie, I'd be like, oh, they're doing it, or you know, kind of making comments as the movie goes.
That's forgivable. If it's not like, who's that guy again?
No. It's just more of a, you know, just yes, let's fucking go. Just making all these kind of comments, and I had a good time. I really, really enjoyed watching Deadpool Wolverine, and like I said at the beginning of the episode, I am very happy to have finished watching the X-Men animated series going into this, because it gave me, like I said, I recognize characters that I probably wouldn't have before if I hadn't have watched it. And yeah, and just some of the lore from other characters as well. So I was just like, I just, I was elated. I was very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you? How now that you've seen it 3 times, how does it feel after 3 viewings?
It's still good. It's still good. I really, really enjoyed it. It just hit my dopamine so good. You know, I mean, yes, manipulative, but I love being manipulated in my emotions and all that. I laughed, I cried, I did everything that I really enjoyed to do. And yes, it's jingle the keys. Yes, I like the keys. Jingle the keys. Yes, Pavlov's dog. I'm drooling at that bell. Yay. And will this stand the test of time? Is like when we watch it like 5 years down the track, will it have the same effect? Don't know. But at the moment, it's still hitting good, and I'm really enjoying it. The story is surprisingly simple. There's not really much or many set pieces. Very easy to follow, and even for my wife, who's pretty much a novice when it comes to Marvel stuff, like. She just says, "Oh, you're watching that thing." It's like, that's okay. And when she watched it, she enjoyed it. She could follow everything. I mean, there are some things that went over her head, but it didn't really matter. And that sort of proved that this movie is pretty much for everyone, and everyone came to watch it. Even the diehard people, they just want to watch a good film. And yeah, cinema is back, baby. Haha. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit weird not having the main cast be with them, but I sort of chalked it up to be a lot like Back to the Future, where Marty is doing this for his family, and you only see his siblings at the start and at the finish, and you can sort of still feel that sort of what's preying on his mind of being the only one coming out of the Fox universe. Coming into the MCU, but also, or what about everyone else, including the people that I love? It's like, oh, doesn't matter. It's like, no, and you can sort of see his devotion and his fight for what is right, and it does pull at the heartstrings. I mean, these films, and I rewatched all the Deadpools, and yes, they are funny, they're irreverent, and they don't make sense half the time, but that in a weird way, that does make sense. And it also is an emotional film as well, and it just hit every beat, and it was really, really good. Yeah, and that's my overall thing.
Nice. I love that. Cool. Well, I want to spend a few minutes talking about the opening of this film, because not just because it was fantastic, but it's also my favorite part of the whole movie. It was actually the opening sequence, which is not to say the rest of the movie wasn't as good. Of course, that's not what that means. That just means that this just tickled me the most.
It did its job. It got you pumped.
It did. It really did. It felt like such a triumphant moment. This whole sequence of how do we get Deadpool into the MCU? What's the story of this going to be? How is it going to unfold? And then, we're doing that traditional Deadpool opening of not doing it in linear order, right? We're jumping around. Makes a lot of sense. So it was fun to see him, talk to Happy Hogan about, wanting to be a part of the Avengers, and and then coming back and being like, I'm a used car salesman. My Deadpool days are over. But for me, where it was all at was just literally them saying, don't worry, we're not going to do anything to ruin the impact of Logan. And then immediately he proceeds to dig up his corpse, and because he's like, he's not going to be dead. He regenerates, and it's like, fuck, no, no, he's dead. He's actually dead. And then for I've been saying to people, I've never been so simultaneously happy and overjoyed and horrified and disgusted all in once. It is the most interesting feeling I've ever had a film provoke in me, I think. Just watching him use that adamantium skeleton to take on these TVA agents, and then fucking using bye like that, like just having the song there was good enough on its own, but then the fact that they had someone come in and do the choreography dressed as Deadpool to make it look like he was dancing, that was
Deadpool. That is Deadpool. Yeah.
That was the part that killed me. Like,
yeah, same, me too.
The dance. Like, I'm coming apart now just thinking about it. It's so funny. Oh, and just the violence in that scene was spectacular. The way he took down all those TVA agents, it was just amazing, and it was so Deadpool. And the fact that, like, all of the opening credits, the names were engraved in the skeleton, and I particularly like seeing Hugh Jackman's name in his own skull. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I fucking love this whole opening sequence, seeing the dancing and the killing, and then going, and showing the lead up to how we get here and how the TVA get involved, and all of that. It was just a great way to start the movie, and it just was like, yes, we're fucking in. Let's go. Yeah, it was cool. Fulya, what did you think of the opening?
Yeah, look, honestly, I was just giggling for it. And yes, you are right. That fight scene with Bye playing, and then the cuts between the fight, the battle, and the dancing was beautiful. It was so good. And then when they were cutting between, they get to the chorus, they're doing, bye, and then he's doing the actual movements, like the choreography from the NSYNC video clip. And I'm just like, yes, this is what Deadpool's all about. Oh my goodness. I was quite kind of grossed out that he started using the skeleton as a weapon, essentially. But what had me really laughing, but also covering my eyes quite a bit because of all the gore, was the moment he popped on the claws. And he's like, how the heck does Wolverine do this? Like, oh shit, this is wrong. Sorry. And it's like, he's going ham, but he's like kind of out of control at the same time. Like, he doesn't know how to use them properly.
Wolverining is hard.
They're just kind of like bear claws almost, But then he'd get stuck somewhere, and it'd be real crude and just but I also feel I will never understand the pain of male genitalia, but all those parts that happen throughout the scene with the Wolverine claw, yeah,
shish kebab.
Oh yeah. all of the stabby stabs.
So much stabs.
So many stabs.
And he was like so apologetic trying to use these things. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. But they're not even dead yet either. They're just in agony. Because anyway. I had a good laugh out of that scene.
Nice. Good.
Oh, so good. I was in tears. Like, like
Yeah,
the
same.
fact that you can get me laughing so hard, I'm in tears at the start of the movie. Brilliant. You know you're gonna be in for a good ride.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh yes. Mike, how about you? How did the opening go for you?
Very fitting for a Deadpool movie. And one of the first things that Ryan said all the way back when him and Hugh were sort of discussing it, and they were saying, how does this affect Logan, the movie Logan? It doesn't, and he's setting up as like, well, this is going to be something else where it's a different Wolverine and all this, and we don't really touch Logan, so he's sort of setting up the fact that, well, he does. It's desecrating a beloved character in a very fitting way and a humorous way as well. So, and having In Sync as the main title sequence is a callback actually. If you watch the original Celine Dion Ashes, which was what they used in the first one, in the music video at the end he's sort of clapping. It's like, thank you, Selena, but we're gonna have to do it again. Remember, this is a Deadpool movie. You just bring it down to 11. It's way too good. And then Celine Dion just says, it's like, no, this goes up to 11. It's like, screw you, Spider-Man. And then the last words were Deadpool was like, I should have got In Sync. So
There it is.
So it plays
Wow.
contextually into that. So
That's great.
I love the connection. And and yeah, they released the playlist of
the soundtrack. Yes.
of the soundtrack on Spotify, and I've been listening to that like constantly, especially. And I listen to like, okay, where's this song gonna go? Where's this? Where'd they go? Why?
Where?
It's like, where? And then it was sort of was in order in a way, and I was like, okay. So I'm just trying to think, okay, what's next? And yeah, bloody, gory, and the first Marvel R-rated film. And someone did the calculation that in the MCU, they have used the F-bomb 117 times. One time in in Guardians 3, and 116 times in this movie.
I love
it. Yeah, I like that. That's like, Guardians 3 opened the, walk so Deadpool 3 could run, sort of like.
Just had Quinn just going, open the fucking door.
Yeah, that's such a great moment in that movie.
It's like, push the button on the handle. Okay, now what? Open the fucking door.
Open the fucking door. Brilliant. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Because I want to talk about Paradox. This is the TVA agent played by Matthew McFadden. A new TVA agent. He was not in Loki, as we know. Introduced to
Not in my Loki.
Not in your Loki. Introduced to the MCU here, and yeah, he's kind of really. I mean, Cassandra Nova's one thing, but he's kind of really the main villain, I suppose, of the piece. He's the mastermind.
He puts the things in motion.
Correct. Yes. He sets things a going. And yeah, and I kind of really liked him. A complete dirtbag. And I was really hoping at some point in the movie my man was gonna show up and just be like, oi, fuck off, and then disappear again. Like, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but like, you know, I
wasn't
can dream.
Nah, he's
I
too
wasn't
busy sitting
expecting
down.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. He's
Yeah.
holding onto them branches.
He's on one of them branches. I know. A girl can dream.
just waiting,
Um,
just sitting there waiting for Secret Wars.
Yeah, basically. But yes. But no, yeah, he was a very interesting addition to the TVA world and to the MCU, and I do kind of like the fact that he was a character that you know, because as we saw in Loki season 2, not everyone in the TVA was on board with the idea of letting the branches expand, letting the multiverse happen. And I like the fact that they explored that here with Paradox being this character who was very much still about the old school TVA way of the sacred timeline. And that he was kind of willing to do anything to, you know, preserve the sacred timeline still. And yeah, I kind of like that, and how he was, you know, using Deadpool to do it. I think the best scene for him, like watching, was just basically this introduction scene where he's showing Deadpool the timeline, the MCU, and you know, we're getting these amazing reactions from Deadpool saluting Cap, and then that one scene where for some reason Deadpool is inserted into Thor: The Dark World and Loki's not there, and it's Deadpool crying, and I'm like, what's going on here? I don't know if I like this.
Also, that Thor wasn't actual Thor. I don't think that was the Chris Hemsworth Thor either.
Oh, I thought it was.
It didn't look like Chris Hemsworth.
No, I think it was. I don't think it's the Matt Damon Thor.
But I thought it was.
Or you mean the Luke Hemsworth?
Luke Hemsworth, yeah.
Luke Hemsworth, yeah.
Luke Hemsworth Thor. No.
I honestly thought that's who that was. It did not really look. I don't know. Maybe it was just the way that it was projected on the screen in the movie that it didn't look like him. But yeah,
it could also be like a moment of, you know, your perception's already thrown out because you've seen Deadpool in a shot where Loki usually exists, and then you're like,
probably.
Who is this other character?
No, not really. I don't remember Thor: The Dark World that much.
Yeah, that's fair. Few people do. I
think I've only watched it once.
That torch. Oh, okay. I've seen it many times. Is the Tom Hiddleston Variety Hour. Yes.
You got a quota.
Yes.
You got one more time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
He doesn't show up in this film, so why are we mentioning him?
Because have you met me? Anyway, I probably won't. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. But I liked Paradox. I thought he was great, and I really like Matthew McFadden. I think he's a great actor. He was fantastic in Succession. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's really cool to see him doing a big budget movie like this. And being just a complete dick the whole time. Fulya, what did you think of Paradox?
Yeah, he was annoying, to say the least. But honestly, like he was funny. I did enjoy just, you know, seeing him and just the way that he behaved and the way that he, you know, was talking to Deadpool about the whole scenario of what's going to happen and how he's going to save the sacred timeline using this device and that he's building. And he's like, I need you to go and do this. But, you know, he's trying to trick Deadpool into doing what he wants him to do. But then Deadpool sort of clicks. And yeah, and then it literally sort of, that's when you see the real, like, asshole that he's come through, and you're like, oh, okay, this is not what Deadpool wants, and nor does anyone else. So why are you doing this? I thought we sorted this shit out before.
Nah.
But no, he just decided he wanted to go behind the backs of the TVA and do it his way. He's like, I don't like what they did, so I'm gonna do it myself. But yeah, no, Matthew McFadden did a great job playing Paradox. He was funny, and especially considering the fact that he had a broken nose for 3/4 of the film, and it just oh man, it was so good when he got headbutted by just like smack.
Yeah. Cop that.
Yeah. Nah, Paradox was funny but annoying.
Yes.
But you gotta have that annoying character. But
You gotta.
I knew that he wasn't going to be like I knew he wasn't going to be the big bad. But yeah, like you said, the whole, he starts it off essentially. He starts off the chaos. And then it's just all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yes. Literally the furthest downhill you can possibly go. Mike, before we get there, what did you think of Paradox?
Yeah. I didn't know what to think. After watching the trailers, it's like, okay, where's this person? I think he was probably just going to be like pencil pusher, and he's the reason why Deadpool is in this predicament, because higher ups want him to help out with something we don't know. So that's another question. And yeah, and Paradox is there to see the Fox universe die and wither, and he doesn't want to do that for a millennia. So he says, just chuck everything in the shredder. We don't need it. I don't want to be here. So he's the worst kind of bureaucrat of just want to do everything quickly without any like repercussions or anything like that. So boo for him. But he does play a good British asshole, which you need sometimes. Speaking of 80s tropes, bad guy is always British.
Indeed.
And my wife only knows him from Death at a Funeral. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched it. Good movie.
Good for him. It's got Alan Tudyk in it, doing a British version voice.
I have not seen it. I should probably watch it.
Yeah.
You might like it, Fulya, I think.
Yeah. You see a very young versions of people. Yeah. Peter Dinklage,
Okay.
for instance.
Peter Dinklage, yes. The only actor to be in both versions of the movie.
My wife has seen the other one, but I don't know.
I never watched it. It didn't appeal to me.
But apparently she liked it, so I thought, oh, maybe. It's a maybe. It's a maybe from me, dog.
It's a it's a maybe from you. Yes. Cool. Well, yeah. So Deadpool, basically has to, figure a way out of this situation. And he calls himself Marvel Jesus, which is just great.
Yep.
Just very funny.
You would think that.
And upon learning that, the Logan character that died in Logan was the what did they call it? Anchor being.
Anchor being, yes.
Anchor being. That was a new concept introduced here. He was the anchor being of the timeline, and without him, everything kind of falls apart.
Well, without Logan, the Fox universe sort of implodes on itself.
The meta storytelling is just perfection. Yeah, very, very funny. So, Deadpool decides, well, I've got to find myself a new Logan to save my universe. And then we get one of the best montages ever in superhero movies and in cinema, as Wade Wilson traverses the multiverse. He uses a tempad, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
steals Tempad and goes to between universes to try and find a Logan sufficient enough to bring back. And from the jump,
the first Logan we come across.
from the first Logan we come across, we are just dead from laughter. Because this is the first time Hugh Jackman's actually appeared in the movie. And the first time we see him, he hops off a bar stool, and his actual canonical short Wolverine,
Short King.
short king, like the definition of short king, but he's like so cute and so small. And he's just, I fucking died. I thought it was so funny. But yeah, from there we get like a million different iterations, all from different comic book storylines and
All
issues.
deep cuts.
All hugely deep cuts, yes.
Including a one Cavalrine, which
Yeah.
I honestly, when I saw the name pop up on screen, I was like, it didn't click. For me, it did not click because I didn't recognize the face. And then I saw when I went to look at the credits, and I saw Cavalry said Henry Cavill. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
My wife was the same. As like, who's that?
I mean, look, it was a dark, place.
Yeah.
And he did look a bit different in the role, but yeah, out of all of the cameos in this movie, his was the most surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing the rumors that they wanted him for the MCU's Wolverine potentially, or just to play the role at some point. But it never for some reason occurred to me that they'd actually put that in this movie. It's just so seeing him and then seeing the way Deadpool reacted was just fantastic, and yeah,
And
I loved this sequence.
And it just proves that he's not going to be Wolverine.
No, it was just like the John Krasinski.
Yeah, this
right?
is the John Krasinski of
of
Mr. Fantastic.
Of this movie. Yeah,
Aww.
exactly. Yeah. So this is your fan service. This is a taste of
what you could have gotten.
We could have almost had it all.
Mind you,
Um,
he could pop up in Secret Wars.
I mean, yeah, anything's possible now.
And John Krasinski.
Oh, and John Krasinski. Wow.
Doing the
Like
Council
John
of
Spaghetti.
Reeds.
Council of Reeds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you can have everyone.
Everybody comes back. You get resurrected, and you get resurrected. And you
I
get
want to see Eric Banner back as the Hulk.
Oh, mate, if they did that, that'd
that'd
be sweet.
Amazing.
If we got to see like him and Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo in
Get
one
another Aussie
screenshot.
back
Yeah,
in
Eric
the game.
Banner
Yeah.
beating the shit out of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Yeah, because we got a little Hulk cameo here as well, didn't we?
Man.
Which was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. Yeah, I loved this whole sequence with all these Wolverines. It was cut together really, really well. I forget which song it was cut to. Do you guys remember?
Huey Lewis and the News, baby.
Was it Hip to Be Square?
No.
No.
Another
Power of Love.
Another time travel movie.
Yes, Power of Love. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the cameos, Fulya? on the different Wolverines?
It was just so good. I was cackling every time I saw a new Wolverine pop up, and be like, and then just the commentary from Deadpool as well, just his reactions to all of these different Deadpools. I mean Wolverines. It's just, it was so good. It was just so much fun to just watch all of that sort of cycle through, and then seeing the different variations of Wolverine that have been in like the comics, and just being very and canon to like the animated series and all that sort of stuff. And so I was just glad that we got to have that, even if it was just a little fan servicey, and just here, have all of the Wolverines in this one little scene, montage, but that's all you're gonna get.
And all the people who are complaining that Hugh Jackman's not the right height for Wolverine, do you see how ridiculous it looks like?
Exactly.
It's like, no, but he could go berserker. It's like, then you'd have a Yoda situation of him going berserker. So it doesn't matter if Wolverine is not the right height.
I don't mind if he's not that small. Like after watching the X-Men animated series and seeing he wasn't actually that short, but
No.
he was still kind of short. But he still had a bit of height to him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mind you,
I had fun.
I wouldn't mind if Wolverine was cast by Daniel Radcliffe, and he's a short kid, so
Yeah.
he can go berserker.
Ooh, I can't imagine him being as Wolverine to be honest.
Beef up, beefcake.
Oof.
I think
Beef up, you think.
one of my favorite ones is the Wolverine with the brown and the yellow. I think that's probably my favorite Wolverine costume.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah, just didn't have the cowl, but they saved that for later. Yay! And
They sure
also,
did.
I love the fact that the Calverine did his pumping up motion before he knocks
Oh, I didn't even notice,
I
really.
did not notice
with
that.
the claws.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, he's loading his arms.
I went ha 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 memes.
Internet content.
Oh yeah, well, speaking of, Deadpool getting hit, this montage just was riddled with him getting just smacked around by all the different Wolverines. It was so good.
With Patch,
Yeah.
Madripoor,
Yeah.
Old Man
Oh my-
Logan, properly Old Man
Oh.
Logan.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
actual
Logan.
Old Man Logan. That was pretty cool.
Get off
I
my
loved
lawn.
Old Man Logan.
Get off my damn lawn.
with the old man Captain America stuff on him,
Yeah.
looking like Cap.
Yeah.
Who looks
was
like
great.
who looks like Joe Biden. But then
But then, of course, we end up with our Wolverine, our Logan that we're going to get for the movie, who is definitely a Logan at the bottom of his rope and has nothing left.
and at the
doesn't give a fuck.
bottom of a bottle as well.
Bottom of a bottle, yes. He's very drunk.
And Deadpool did also mention, you're the only Logan that has not immediately hit me, essentially.
Or tried.
Yeah,
Or tried to.
Or
We
try
tried
to.
to.
Yeah, 100%. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, we get the exchange that we've seen in all the trailers happens and all of that, and then I can't even remember how do they end up getting him back. How does he end up getting him back to the TVA? Does he knock him out and then drag him back?
No,
Something like
he
that,
he
right?
drinks a full bottle of whiskey and
Yeah.
he
And it
collapses.
passes out. Yeah.
And then Deadpool's like, all right, well that was easy.
Yeah, pretty much. And drags him out.
Ooh, nice jammies.
Nice.
That took only 20 fucking years.
Yeah, that's right. That was we get our first little glimpse of the costume here, and then back at the TVA, and then things go south pretty quickly. And then Deadpool and Wolverine both get pruned and sent to the void, where the remnants of the Fox Marvel universe lay scattered about them. Yes. So I really liked the once we got into the void, I'm like, okay, all right, this is where most of the movie is going to be set. And and now we can get the main bulk of the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff going. It was really great to see them interacting on screen so much.
First fight was cool.
The first fight was very cool. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved every moment of it.
Oh, so many stabs.
So many stabs, so many gunshots, Like it almost feels pointless, the two of them fighting each other, because both of them have the same regenerative powers. So they can't kill each other. They can only hurt each other. And it's a stalemate, basically. But they're both so angry, they're just going to keep at it.
It's what happens in the second fight.
Yeah, exactly.
But the amount of blood that you see coming from those two, like shit.
Yeah. Absolutely insane.
And we get to see Wolverine crawl across the floor like a Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like a Wolverine. Yeah. That's something we haven't seen before, is it? That was cool. Actually living up to the moniker a bit there.
Just
Yeah.
I loved no matter how, like, especially that first battle scene between those two, where he brings out the claws and is just in that position, in that pose, and he says, "Let's fucking go," and then just starts running at Deadpool. I was like just fangirling so much,
and my Australian heart leapt when the song came on. Do we remember?
No, I don't.
Hell's Bells by AC/DC.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. That was very cool.
When I first heard the dongs, I thought, yeah. Haven't heard an AC/DC song since Tony was alive.
Yeah, I know. It's like simultaneously an Australian reference and a Tony Stark reference. AC/DC. So, that was really cool. That was really, really cool. I want to get to my second favorite part of the movie real quick. Because after the initial fight between the two of them, we get some visitors rock up. Some baddies in the void have come to, take them away, I guess. And we get,
style.
Mad Max style very much. We get a lot of Mad Max references in this sequence, which is very funny. The timing of Furiosa coming out could not have been better. But yeah, we get that fight that we saw that was released a couple of weeks ago of I've already forgotten his name. Sabretooth, thank you. I was gonna say Sabretooth, and I'm like, wait, no, that's wrong. No, it is Sabretooth. Sabretooth and Wolverine. That was great. That was really fun. And then he's dispatched of pretty quickly. But it's when the next person arrives that I died.
Is it Toad?
Is it Toad? No. So a certain someone comes in, and
actually, before you mention it,
please,
did you even expect to see him in this film at all?
No.
Maybe a little bit because of Free Guy.
Oh yeah, because of the Chris Evans cameo in Free Guy. Yeah, of course. I forgot about that. Yeah, fair call.
I didn't forget that, but I was not expecting this.
No, I mean, when he rocked up, I was like, oh, of course he's in this. Like, I didn't think of
Deadpool reacts. It's just gone.
I didn't think about it going in.
He loves Cap in the comics as well.
Yeah, it was so cool to see. Like, because we had that setup where he's at the TVA and he's looking at Cap and he's in awe of him. And then, and then we get this moment where Chris Evans arrives and you can see he's wearing a blue suit and there's a bit of red in there. And I immediately knew who it was. Yeah. I immediately knew who it was. I think I was one of the only people in my friend group that I was with that realized it wasn't Steve Rogers. They were setting it up to make us think it was Steve Rogers, but I was like, oh no, I bet that's Johnny Storm.
Was it when he revealed his face?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's when I maybe clicked.
I think I was a little bit later.
Okay.
I think, well, probably. But what clinged it for me was when he said "dick for brains." Cap wouldn't say that.
Cap would not say. Yeah, language.
Even Deadpool sort of knows that. What?
But yes, yeah. No, it was great, and there's the reaction from the crowd when we're getting Cap's music, we're getting the Avengers music, and then Deadpool's like he's gonna say it, he's gonna say the line, and then he's like Avengers assemble,
Flame on!
and he says flame on instead, and then he lights up and he flies away, and the fucking cinema lost it. Where I was, they fucking lost it. It was amazing, and then just seeing him again in the character was just great. The way he was, and clearly very much a subpar version of Johnny Storm from the jump, and just not what Deadpool was expecting. And they gave him a superhero landing, and oh man, I could go on about Johnny Storm, like, because then we get his spectacular death scene, which was just. I imagine Fulya, that was one of the moments where you turned away.
I didn't have time. Just happened, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
He's
was
dead now.
He's very dead. He's very dead. But I loved that moment of like, oh, I didn't say this, and they're like, no, you said this, and then at the fucking end, the post-credit scene is him saying everything. It was so. It was my second favorite thing, the whole thing. Chris Evans returning as Johnny Storm.
I watched
Fulya. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
I was going to say I watched a bit of the original Fantastic Four. When I watched it, I was like, I need to watch this, and it's like, yeah, Johnny is a bit of a heel, bit of an ass.
Yeah.
On character, I reckon. And
yeah.
Chris Evans actually said, "It's like I do miss playing this character. It's like he's a bit of an ass." So
he said something about how it was like a dream come true to play him again, like to have this opportunity. So that's really cool.
It's never gonna happen again.
It's never gonna happen again.
Well, not now.
Yeah.
I think it's a trope now that every time there's a Fantastic Four member, they got to kill him.
Wow, so this new movie is going to be from first steps to final steps real fucking quick.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Chickless is just going to be just a rock pile by the end of it.
So worse than Korg. Dear. All right, Fulya, what did you think of seeing Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, not Steve Rogers? In this movie?
Look, I was there. I was kind of believing the Captain America for a little while. And then as soon as that whole, Deadpool's like, he's got to say the line kind of thing came up, and he doesn't say Avengers Assemble, because then Deadpool turns around and he's like, wait, what? That's when I was like, that's kind of where my brain was like, before he revealed himself. That's when I was like, oh, right, he's not Captain America. So I was fooled for quite a bit of time. But I was really glad to see Chris Evans pop up. Very unexpected for me. I just did not even think about it. And I don't know that I've actually seen the Fantastic Four with him in it. I think I may have seen the other one. So, because I don't remember Chris Evans in the Fantastic Four film. So I feel like I've only seen the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this scene was just, it was hilarious. And just being able to see Chris Evans just curse his mouth off like a freaking sailor.
Because he can.
It was so cool. I loved it. But yeah, I felt so bad for him when Deadpool was just putting the blame on him and just throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
In front of Cassandra, and she's like, "No, I didn't say that. What are you trying to do?" And then immediately after that, the fight just kept getting, more and more ridiculous. that argument, Cassandra was like, "Shut up, remove skin, you're dead." And then all he does, he's just like this shocked face, and then he sort of just collapses into a puddle. And I'm like, ew. I saw that. I was like, ugh, he's just a pile of goop and muscle and organs now.
Yeah. Well, if you like that fully, I reckon you'll like Evil Dead.
No. No. Oh, man. Nah, it was... Yeah, no. Seeing Chris Evans was a good little highlight. I really enjoyed that.
Nice. Mike, what about you? Any other thoughts on Chris Evans' return as Johnny Storm?
I think it was well deserved, and it just fitted quite neatly. Being the fact that Chris Evans has played two characters in the Marvel pantheon, so who knows? Maybe next time we'll get Michael B. Jordan and Killmonger just for shits and gigs, fighting each other. That'll be interesting. But Killmonger has to kill his Johnny Storm because he's a Fantastic Four person, so they have to die. They are the red shirts of the Marvel universe.
Apparently.
Yes. Blue shirts.
Yes. Blue shirts. Nice. All right. Cool. Well, let's move it on to maybe a quick discussion on what we thought of Cassandra Nova, our other villain, our powerful villain. This is the first time she's been in live action, and yeah, I really liked her. I thought she was really, really cool. I didn't know until I'm going to talk about that. I didn't know until this movie was coming out that Xavier had a twin sister, so I was really excited to see how it would be explored here, and they kind of did a little bit with it, but not as much. Like I watched one video on YouTube that talked about it and said it would have made more sense to do her in a movie where you have a Charles Xavier to bounce off of, but I'm okay with that not happening because I just thought she was a really interesting character and like a cool sort of an OP character to have somewhere like the Void, where they can't actually interfere with the affairs of the timeline until, they're pushed a bit too far, apparently. And yeah, the hand thing was sick. That was one of the coolest visual effects I've seen in a movie. Like, I loved it. It was creepy. It was unsettling. It was just cool.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was very uncomfortable. That is a good way to put it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. And yeah, I kind of felt, bad for her that Paradox kind of betrayed her in the end, and she's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get out of here and take everyone down and make sure that the only timeline that exists now is the Void. I'm just gonna erase everything. With his precious, what was the device called? Is it Time Ripper or something? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Something like that.
The Ripper,
that machine.
Yeah. Time Ripper.
Yeah, Time Ripper. Yeah. But I thought she was great. I liked her a lot. And I was wondering the whole movie how, if she's so powerful, how are they going to defeat her? And I liked how they had to use Juggernaut's helmet to try and do that, but then ultimately that wasn't going to be the way to bring her down until the very end of the film. So yeah, I thought she was handled well. What about you, Fulya? What did you think of Cassandra Nova?
So as soon as I heard the name Cassandra Nova and twin sister of Charles Xavier, I was like, yeah, animated series.
I know Xavier.
I know that. They mention her, and I think she pops up in the animated series too, if I remember correctly. like in one episode or something like that. Might have been.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of vaguely remember, but yeah, it was really interesting to see her in this film. She was a very, very interesting villain. And yeah, the hand thing really just made me feel a bit
Ew.
weird.
Ew, brother. Ew.
He's just like, just all you see are these like, but the other thing I will say, it is very obvious how CG that was. But the way that her fingers were sort of going in and out, and then you could sort of see the fingers sort of moving through under the skin, and just, I was like, this is making me feeling very, very uncomfortable.
Well, if you like this, Fulya, there's also
Nah. Stop.
Yes. He's gonna keep trying to wear you down.
I'm gonna
No.
get you. I'm gonna get you.
I'm going to get you.
Cassandra Nova and her her little head brain massages was interesting, to say the least. Yeah, no, she was really cool. But it like, I didn't expect her to be as strong as what everybody was saying. And when as soon as Johnny was killed, I was like, ooh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
She means
It's gonna be
business.
a tough one. Yeah.
When she can do that, okay.
Yeah. And what and the other thing was like, why in the world would she help them get out?
Yeah.
That was my other question to myself. I'm like, but why would they do that? Why would she even bother? Like, she has all this power here. Anyway. Yeah, no. Cassandra Nova was really cool. Emma Corrin did a great job.
She did,
performing,
yeah.
as the character. So yeah, I was happy with the way that she was in this film, to be honest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she was good. Great. Mike, what did you think of Cassandra Nova?
I think she was a great foil and a great character as well. I think a good member of the Rogues Gallery, and trying to remember, and even for the trilogy that is the Deadpool trilogy. All the bad guys have sort of were sort of like ground level villains until we get to this, which it's a very fantastical story, but you need that sort of threat to actually be competing with, time travel and all that. So what do we need? We need pretty much a godlike being that can do anything under any whim, and the main threat is the absolute annihilation of everything. So not just a Avengers level threat, but you need a Sorcerer Supreme threat, which is pretty cool. This is what sort of the madness of the multiverse can be like. So, and the way she played it was fantastic and conniving and just makes you go ill every time she does it. But when she is doing the sort of talking, especially when going into Wade's mind, and we see that sort of scape, and not knowing what's real and what's not, and Vanessa saying all this stuff, and even the stuff that she's not really saying, it's just getting into your mind, and just a taste of like evil, and when she went into Logan's brain as well, and that bit sort of almost, it just broke me, just going through his character work, and this is sort of where his struggle is, all the guilt that he has, and in a way she sort of makes it better, which is really weird for a villain to do, where she gets like Logan to actually think a different way to actually help him, and in return he helps her, and so there's sort of a weird camaraderie into that sort of relationship, and then things change where she decided, oh, I can't really trust the TVA anymore, so I'm gonna have to step up my game. So yeah, she was a really great character, and yeah. And I had to lean over to my wife saying, hey, that's Princess Diana from The Crown. that's the people's princess going absolutely buck wild. So it's a shame that she's not going to be around.
Yeah, I know. It's like the only sad thing about her getting killed off is, you know.
But, you know, Secret Wars.
I want more of her. Secret Wars, yeah. Secret Wars is becoming the like, what, the Deus Ex Machina of the MCU now. It's like, oh, they'll just come back.
Yeah.
Fine.
A last hurrah, and then the whole MCU series will just get rebooted.
Yeah.
New cast, new everything, new generation,
new stuff.
And then OGs like us will say, "Oh, it's not as good as the original," and we'll just tap out. It's like, yeah, there you go, kid. You can sort that out.
Yeah, we're just going to be those fans.
Yeah.
Great.
And she had long fingers as well. You okay?
We get to a certain part of this movie where we're in the void.
Oh, I hope it's the part I'm about to bring up, because obviously, we you know, Deadpool and Wolverine managed to escape from Cassandra.
Yeah.
You know,
battle it out in a freaking car and stab each other to no death.
Yes.
My favorite fight scene.
Yeah, it was great. It was very, very good. But yeah, along the way, we meet a few characters.
Yes.
And first of those, we finally get to encounter some Deadpool variants.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one, of course, is
Lady in Red.
Yeah, the Lady in Red, the beloved Dogpool.
So cute.
Right, so cute, so adorable. That weird ass tongue just blowing in the wind. And then after you know, it's love at first sight for our Deadpool with this Dogpool. We get to meet someone by the moniker of Nice Pool, who runs over with his man bun and his long hair, and he's like, sorry.
So Canadian.
More Canadian than
the most Canadian of Deadpools. I loved Nice Pool. I thought Nice Pool was great. It made me laugh so much. My favorite Nice Pool moment was when he looked at the camera and was like, I can do fourth wall breaks too, and then he just says the proposal.
As soon as he brought that up, I was like, oh my gosh, of course he's going to bring other movies into this.
Well,
it was so funny.
Deadpool Prime did it first, calling him Van Wilder.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's how it started. And then he's just like, I can do it too. The proposal.
And then just looks away and keeps going. And I'm like, that's it?
Bitch, do you think that's what I do?
It was so great.
It was good.
It was really really cool. Did you guys have any other thoughts on a Nice Pool or
as long as you don't hit the face?
Guys,
you know, that's
come on.
Just,
yeah.
Where's your mask? Yeah. Guys, come on.
Why would you want to seal that up? Oh man.
Yeah.
Good time. It's a good time. but yeah, after all that, we Deadpool and Wolverine are taken in by some, you know, a group of outcasts, a group of unlikely heroes, a group of heroes who never really got the chance to shine.
Well, have an
some
ending.
or have an ending,
Or even start.
Or
Yeah.
even one of them may have even possibly been born in the void.
I don't know.
Yeah, so we get this kind of, great reveal scene, and we get to see Wesley Snipes' Blade, Jennifer Garner's Elektra,
All in
obviously
slow-mo as they enter.
all in slow-mo. Obviously, eventually we get the return of Daphne Keane as Laura / X-23. But the money shot, the surprise in this, of course, and I was thinking of Fulya and I was watching this. Channing Tatum
Magic Mike himself.
as Gambit. Finally.
Holy shit! That blew my mind when I saw
Yeah.
him walk in. I'm like, yeah, they're fucking doing it.
How you like Menashe? Yeah?
Oh man,
I
lost it.
Yeah, it was incredible to see. These whole moments with these characters getting them another second chance, was, or even a first chance was really, really cool. And I'll admit I didn't get the joke at first with Gambit because he started talking and I was like, oh, I don't like this. I'm glad he never played Gambit. But then they made the joke about how Deadpool can't understand what he's saying because his Cajun accent was so bad. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's a bit.
Well,
he wouldn't
It's
have
supposed to
actually
be
sounded like
French.
that.
With the accounts that I've been looking at, like online, his Cajun accent is very authentic, apparently.
Oh, really?
He did a very good job.
You know,
wow.
You know how
then I don't know how to feel anymore.
Well, no, you haven't seen Brave, have you?
No.
Well, there's a character in that does very Highland Scottish accent, which is very hard to understand.
Yeah.
It's that fucking scene from Hot Fuzz, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, got him off his own Rambo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Interesting.
So it's not a bad Cajun accent.
Yeah.
It's just too good.
It's too good.
That's so okay. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to process that now. For a minute. But needless to say, it was great to see him on screen, and I especially loved his fight scenes at the climax when we go back to Cassandra Nova's base.
I thought I cast and I go boom.
That was great. That was great. And then before I throw to you, Fulya, for all of your reactions and thoughts, just a sidebar. I really fucking loved the dig at the MCU. I mean, there are many digs at the MCU in this, but of course I'm talking about the Blade dig, where they're like, there's only ever going to be one of me.
There's only one blade, and there's going to only be one blade.
Yeah, and then Deadpool just looks at the camera like,
Marvel, it's up to you. Yeah.
That was great. I fucking lost it at that. That was yeah. Get your shit together, Marvel. Yeah, it was awesome. Fulya, what did you think about seeing these characters all on screen for the first time and some returning and whatnot?
So I never actually watched Elektra.
I haven't seen it.
So
either.
I haven't seen any of them. Is there only one? I think there's only one movie.
Well,
so she was in Daredevil.
Oh, that's right.
The Ben Affleck Daredevil one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So I haven't seen either of them. But I still knew the character because I knew she played Elektra at that point.
Yeah.
So when she walked in with her weapons, I knew exactly who she was, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Bringing in a character that never really hit the Marvel.
Deep cut. Cool.
cool. Then Wesley Snipes' Blade walks in, and I was like, okay, clearly this is going to be Blade, but I'm not really that familiar with that character, to be honest, because I've never really watched or like seen anything that has Blade in it. But I have heard of the character, and I know that there's a film, hopefully
3.
coming. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. See, that's how much I don't really keep up with Blade.
And Ryan Reynolds was in a Blade movie.
Yeah, and the third one.
Of course, that's the reason why he was brought in, probably.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it, but yeah.
Yeah, Michael. I'm gonna leave that for Mike to talk about. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, then we had our Wesley Snipes Blade come in.
The Blade.
And then the last, and then Gambit. I had no clue this was even going to be a thing, but the moment he came through with the way he was properly Gambit dressed in his hero outfit with his card, I was lost for words. I squeed in the cinema. And the cinema didn't have that many people in there. So I was so excited to see Gambit live action. And then he started talking. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty on point to the animated series Gambit.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's Gambit's year.
Oh my gosh. I did not want to take my eye off of Gambit, and I wanted to make sure I understood everything he said, even though it still made no sense half the time.
Takes a couple of tries, but yeah.
Oh man, Channing Tatum did a phenomenal job. I think, was he petitioning to be Gambit for a very long time?
Yeah.
Like was it from the first Deadpool?
No, it was actually, now this is testing my memory. He wanted to be Gambit all the way from like X-Men Origins. He Wolverine Origins, Wolverine X-Men.
Yeah.
Where he really wanted to play Gambit in that, but he couldn't because I think he was doing G.I. Joe at the time.
Oh, so there was a
scheduling.
schedule clash. Yeah.
But he's still like gung ho for it, and it was very close for it to be real, but directors were dropping out, and the budget wasn't there, and when Fan 4 Stick underperformed, the studio was second guessing. I was like, well, no one really knows what a Gambit is, so why would we test that?
I was gonna say, because when I recall watching all of the X-Men films, I never remembered a Gambit. But then when I started watching the animated series, like 97, and then going back to the original, I was like, I don't remember seeing Gambit anywhere in live action. Like, how is that even possible? They had X-Men films and they never had a live action Gambit.
Yeah, like he does turn up in Wolverine for a bit.
Okay.
But it wasn't China.
Watch that.
And yeah, it was. But they greenlit one. He was going to do it when the new X-Men's as well, like First Class and all that. But then the Fox merger happened, and they sort of put a hold on everything else. So it took him 10 years to play Gambit.
Insane.
And then after, because he's best friends with Ryan, of course, because he did Free Guy and all that, and so I suppose they said, "Hey, you want to do it?" It's like,
come on, you know you want to do it.
Come
that
on,
must
you know
have been the dream call for him because it's probably a dream role of his that he's been wanting to do Gambit.
Yeah.
Like play Gambit. And he nailed it. He absolutely nailed the Gambit role. Like that character, the mannerisms, the accent. That accent. Holy crap. Yeah.
Well, for a bit of a joke, but still.
Yeah, I know. They may have got a little too, like, over the OT, but yeah. But it was still so good. I loved seeing Gambit live action, and I am so glad it was a thing, because I don't know if you can tell, I'm a massive fangirl of Gambit now, so...
Nah, but you are approaching your quota for the Gambit mentions this episode.
Okay.
At least he's in this fucking film.
Thank you, listener. Thank you.
It's all right. You can thank me by watching
Evil Dead.
Yeah, and that's your quota for mentioning that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Sam Raimi did a multiverse movie. Anyway.
No,
Remy.
Yes.
Remy LeBeau.
Oh,
Gambit.
what were we talking about?
We were talking about Gambit.
Yeah. Apart from that.
Apart from that, we were just talking about these cameos, and Mike. I was going to throw to Mike because he has a story about Blade Trinity. I think he's going to
Yes,
share.
go for it.
Yeah. I did appreciate Gambit. I thought, I get it. I like it. and he should do more. He's going to be in Secret Wars.
100%.
Or else. But I reckon everyone can come back. If they play the cards right. Yeah, when you said you were the only one that squeed in a packed house.
No, it wasn't a packed house.
Oh well, you were the only one that squeed.
I was the only one that squeed.
I can relate because I sort of did the same thing when Blade was on TV. But I didn't squeak. I did an audible, and this is very rare. The only time that I did this is when J.K. Simmons was in No Way From Home.
No Way Home?
No Way Home. No Way Home? The second Spider-Man film.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yeah. And I think I said the exact same thing. I went, holy shit! Very loud.
Honestly, when I squeed for Gambit, people turned around. It was like...
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I went, holy shit, because when Wesley Snipes was doing Blade Trinity, it's not the best film. But if you know the history behind the making of that, you would be surprised that it turned out to be a film. Because he was in a weird state of he could only be referred to as Blade, and he wanted everyone to call him Blade, and he was only communicating with the director through post-it notes. It was that sort of weird vibe on set, and Ryan Reynolds was actually in it as well, and it wasn't the best time or the best relationship between both of them, and yeah, you can sort of tell within the film as well that tensions were a bit mixed, and so when Blade was talking to Deadpool, it's like I don't like you, and Deadpool said, you never did. Sort of a good indication of what was actually happening. So it turns out they sort of buried a hatchet. I mean, it's been 20 fucking years. I mean, you can't really hold a grudge that long. But it's but yeah, it was a surprise of having Wesley Snipes playing Blade again after so many years, and can still hold his own by he must be in his like 70s by now. Like he's not a young chicken, but but still being Blade and just doing all that action sequence as well. It's like, yeah, why would you recast? He's awesome. Do another one. Do another Blade. I don't care if you want to recast. Just do another Blade with him. I don't care. He's like, yes, I want to see an old Indiana Jones. I want to see him be all grumpy man.
Old man Blade.
Old man Blade. Well, he can live forever because he's Daywalker. Yes, Fulya.
So I'm just looking at his IMDb page, and I just realized his birthday is the day after mine. For one, on the 31st.
Happy birthday also to him this week.
Secondly, he is 1 year younger than my dad. He was born in 1962.
Oh, wow.
So he's in his 60s.
There you go.
There you go.
But man, he looks good.
Man, he looks great. He looks fucking great. Nice. Well, we should try and figure out a way to wrap this up. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add about the Logan and Laura reunion? That little those moments between them. Mike looks like he's gonna cry.
Shut up.
I will say, when that sort of reunion happened, I kind of felt bad for Laura because this particular Logan has no clue about her.
Yeah.
But the way that she expressed how much Logan meant to her when she was first, like when she was growing up, it did get me feeling a bit emotional, a little, just especially at that campfire. Yeah. Having them sort of all she wanted to do was just talk to Logan and essentially thank him, even though that wasn't her universe Logan. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I think she could see that he needed it, because that was the turning point for him, because like he wasn't going to go with them to face Cassandra Nova and try and stop her, you know.
Yeah.
He was just going to sit there and drown his sorrows, and then that conversation flips him around, and isn't she the one that's like, you know, you were always the wrong one until you weren't? I'm pretty sure she says that to him. Like that was
the wrong guy.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm no hero. I'm the wrong guy. You always were the wrong guy, except when you weren't."
Yeah. Yeah, because this Logan, I mean, you know, we don't get to see really any of what happened, but you know, we hear him talk about it, about how, you know, one night of drunkenness resulted in the deaths of the X-Men, and then the name of the X-Men basically being destroyed forever. And then he ended up going on sort of a Hawkeye Ronin sort of rampage, killing a lot of people in his vengeance. So yeah, he was dealing with some pretty heavy shit, which was sad. So I it was nice to kind of see the two of them, especially with her as an adult now, you know, kind of have their little moment. Like even like you said, Fully, even though like they don't belong to each other in any sense because they're from different universes, but that bond they have kind of stretches beyond those divides, which is really cool. Mike, dare we ask you to say anything on this?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I cried every time she was on screen because I watched Logan like not too long ago, and it's still hard for me to actually watch it because of the history that I have with it, and her playing the same character but all grown up. It's sort of hard to watch because I am witnessing something like that at the moment of children growing up and everything, and it sort of is the emotional linchpin for this Wolverine as well, where where he's sort of still second guessing himself, and actually, I couldn't be that sort of hero that he was, and her confiding that my Logan was never the hero until he was, and it's and yeah, him coming out of the boot in that scene is just fuck yeah, and all throughout the adventure of them being in the void is great, and I was a bit worried when Logan and Deadpool like jumped through the Marvel spinning sparkly or whatever he says,
The sling ring.
Yeah, but Wade says it's like Marvel's sparkly circle or something like that, and just and they preempted as like, well, you're probably not going to survive this, and it's like, yeah, and then them being at the end of Goliath is like, no, I don't want Laura to go, because but she said she had a life with because of a Logan, so yeah, it was very emotional, like for me, and I was quite happy that she is still around and will be around for Secret Wars, please.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon.
So.
Yeah, cool.
Act 3.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say here from what I can remember. Like, the fighting was really cool in the ending, and then, like, you know, the climactic scene where Cassandra gets into Logan's mind and how they kind of set her up to be tracked. It was very clever, very cool. And then, yeah, all the fighting with, you know, seeing Gambit and Blade and Elektra and X-23 doing their thing was just really, really fun. It was just some very great stunt choreography and fighting going on here. It was really awesome. I think for me, the ending of the movie, like is really where I just think of, you know, the two of them making that decision to sacrifice themselves to save everybody. And, you know, and the movie's setting you up for it, you know, with you think it's going to be Logan because it's, you know, he's this Logan, he's got nothing left to lose and he needs to redeem himself because he did a really terrible thing. And
it's sort of a closure for the Fox Marvel universe, and is this the end, really? Which sort of got me. It's like, oh, am I witnessing something that, it made me sad. But I was crying already, so fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, that was the other thing about, like, this movie is just, it's such a great love letter to the Fox Marvel universe, and it's not a universe that I particularly, like, you know, went to bat for many times. Like, I've seen most of the Fox Marvel stuff, but, you know, I was never like, this is the best fucking shit ever. So seeing that, like, in the credits of that montage of all the behind the scenes footage from across the movies was, like, crazy and had me right. It had me right in the feels. So yeah. So then,
and also having good riddance over the top of it.
Yeah.
What was it? What was this? A year 12 breakup party? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, I liked the way the movie ended, and, you know, and the fact that then, you know, Deadpool was like, I'm, you know, nah, you're not doing this, I'm going in and I'm doing this, and then, you know, it ends up with both of them having to go in there and potentially be atomized and destroyed, and yeah.
And the oh so glistening chest of one Logan, the Wolverine.
My wife liked that bit.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. Oh, and I just really completely remembered that we haven't talked about the Deadpool fight.
The Deadpools, yeah.
The massive Deadpool fight. Which I'll just quickly give my thoughts, and then I'm going to throw to Fulya, and then we're just going to keep going until we're done. And I loved it. It was great. R.I.P. Nice pull. We hardly knew ye. Yeah, that was great. Human Shield. I loved that whole sequence. It was great. Yeah, all the different kinds of Deadpools were hilarious. I didn't expect to hear Nathan Fillion as a floating head pull.
Or Matthew McConaughey as a cowboy pull.
Yeah, literally. That was just.
It was also a family affair because
Yes.
like Lively was there, his kids were there.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's
Yeah.
a whole thing.
Nepotism.
It was. Yeah, it was great. It was great, and getting them to use Madonna's "Like a Prayer" like that as well was just a fun time. And then of course the pivotal moment, seeing Wolverine put on the cowl at last, which was unbelievable to see. Like, it was very surreal to finally see Hugh Jackman wear that 100% authentic comic book costume fully. It was insane. But yeah, I loved it. I love this movie. It was a great ending. It was fantastic. It was a roller coaster. There's so much to unpack and take away, but we have run too long, so I'm not going to say any more. Fulya, your thoughts on the ending, please.
Oh boy, let me just say, like, that giant fight scene with all of the different Deadpools was a lot of fun. Very gory, I will say again, but yeah, it was just really interesting to see that when they all come through from the void, and you just like it starts off with Lady Pool, and then it just keeps going, and then it keeps going, and then more and more come through, and you just see all these different variations of a Deadpool. And I'm like, I love this so much because it means that they're making every Deadpool variant canon now. But unfortunately, then they proceed to die.
And come back to life.
But then we realize, apart from Nice Pool, they all have regenerative powers. Which was one thing that really... that's why when our Deadpool that we know grabs Nice Pool and uses him as a shield, I was like, oh yeah, he won't die. He's got regenerative powers, just like what Deadpool was thinking. And then when he's like, you'll be fine. You regenerate, right? He's like, regenerate? And we're like, oh shit.
That's why you look beautiful, because you cannot regenerate.
No. That is the OG.
Everyone's got a spider bite.
Except for Nice Pool.
Mm.
R.I.P. Nice Pool. But yeah, no, that whole sequence, and then the finale of them, blowing up the device while Cassandra was still sort of attached to it. I was like, they were playing with my heart, damn it. Like, Wolverine goes in, and then all of a sudden Deadpool does a immediate bait and switch and gets him out, and he goes in, and I'm like, no, don't do this, no. Like, during that particular scene, I forgot that they had regenerative powers and that they would come out of it alive. Like, my brain was like, oh no, this is like the moment we're all gonna see these two die. But my brain didn't think, wait, hold on, they've got regenerative powers, they'll be fine, right? But it just, in that moment, it didn't click. Because I'm watching it and I've got all these emotions going through me. And then when they come back out and they're alive, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot, but phew.
He has risen, baby girl.
Fuck!
Best delivery of a fuck. Spouting out all this bullshit just to save his life, and then these two just fuck it up.
Yep.
And I don't know
No.
the world to see me.
Yeah, pretty much. And that song just stuck in my head. Ah, such a great ending to this movie. This whole film, just in general, was a lot of fun. And I never thought to myself that I would say that this is my favorite Deadpool movie.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's I think it's mostly because of the fact that we got to see all these different characters pop up, and that's what made me feel really happy. But it was so good, and you can tell that they all had so much fun making this film. And yeah, and I think Ryan Reynolds was also credited as one of the writers to the film too, which was cool. So
Well,
yeah,
he gets that
I
credit
love
because he ad-libs.
As he does,
Yeah.
because that's the Ryan Reynolds thing to do. But yeah, just loved it, so good. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Mike, your final thoughts on the ending. How do you feel?
Very fitting ending for a very bonkers movie. It got me. I thought, okay, where are they going with this? Because it's up in the air of where this sort of fits within the sort of timeline of what they're going to do. And we just, yeah, and this was before Comic-Con of where they were going. So we weren't sure of if either Hugh Jackman this is going to be the last hurrah. We don't know if Ryan Reynolds was going to be Deadpool ever again. So it would have been a fitting like sort of send-off. But no, this is a Deadpool movie. So we're doing the happy ending of everyone survives. Everyone survives in the Fox universe. So therefore, are we going for an incursion between the Fox universe and the MCU going at it with, you know, I'm up for that. I've seen Avengers versus X-Men because they're sort of leaning towards that. I mean, we have seen sort of the MCU tackle another universe as well, and they basically killed everyone there. And we've finally seen Beast in his best form ever. And will that be continuing? What are we going to see? And it's really scared. Who are we going to choose? It's a civil war over again. Are you Team Cap? Are you Team Iron Man? Are you Team X-Men? Or are you Team Avengers? But the problem is, there's no Avengers. What's going to happen? So, I think this is not going to be the last time we're going to see Wolverine. Or even Deadpool. Yeah, very emotional. I loved it. The tie-ins with Loki. Yes, I mentioned Loki, haha. But I'm talking about the TV show and not the character because fuck him. He's just sitting down, just waiting. I'm the god of stories.
Wow.
Anyway, but so it's all there's plans going ahead, and there's a lot of theories going on, and I could say this is probably the best Wolverine movie because he was Logan.
Okay.
Because it was called Logan.
Okay. Yes.
All the other Wolverine movies,
Blah.
blah. But this is when he is superhero and not Logan Daddy.
Logan Daddy.
And this is the best Deadpool movie as well. So, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes.
Nice.
No post credit scene. It was just to say, Johnny Storm is just a real nasty piece of shit. And I will mention there's a joke in this that I thought, ooh, okay, maybe crossed the line a little bit, but apparently he was okay with it. Is when Deadpool was saying, yeah, Wolverine's a little bit chubby now that he after the divorce. I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay. But apparently he was okay with it. So
Yeah.
laugh at yourself.
Guess so.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, yes, go for it.
Sorry, I was going to mention the fact that the soundtrack is up for pre-order, including a 2 vinyl LP of Deadpool Wolverine that comes with very cool looking vinyl.
Oh.
Where one of them is the Deadpool red and the other one is the Wolverine yellow.
Nice.
And I think it comes with like some extra bits and pieces in it as well. It's on JP Hi-Fi's website, so I might pre-order it.
Have you got a record player?
I don't, but I do have vinyls. I will display them like pictures.
What?
Because you can also pre-order the CD soundtrack as well.
Oh, I've got a CD player, so.
Nah, the LP looks really cool. I like the vinyls look really interesting, and the album cover as well. And
Wait, I'll have to look it up. I will say one final thing about the soundtrack before I sign off is the fact that I knew ahead of time there was going to be something from The Greatest Showman in this movie, and it wasn't really featured the way I thought it would, because I didn't even notice it, to be honest. The Greatest Show is in there somewhere.
Really?
I think it's just in the background.
It's when Wolverine whacks Wade into the car stereo for the first time.
That when it pops up, so
Yeah.
no wonder I missed it.
Whoa!
Oh wow!
And then
that was it.
And then it went to You're the One That I Love.
Oh yeah, Grease.
And
Yeah.
people are speculating, it's like, they so fucked in that car. This is a love story.
That's why they fight so much.
Yeah, because they love each other. Hate is so close to love. Wow.
It sure is.
Bit of mustard and ketchup mixed together on a
You know,
hot
Heinz
dog.
did a collab as well.
Yeah.
For their tomato sauce and their mustard.
When you got the colour scheme. Whew.
So many collabs. There have been so many collabs.
So many collabs.
So many collabs.
Cool. I'm ready to
Yes.
start a new collaboration, which is me in bed.
I need to go toilet first.
All right, I think we'll leave it there, shall we?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we've hit the 3-hour mark. That's amazing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking with us, for watching if you have been, for listening if you are. We appreciate it very much. Those are our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine.
Woo!
It went almost as long as the movie itself. That's how we do it on a podcast called Fred.
Actually, longer.
We could have made it longer if we didn't have to get up for work in the morning. But yes, that was fun. It was a good time talking about that with you guys. I enjoyed myself. Hope you guys did too.
Oh my gosh, I've been waiting to be able to talk about it with you guys.
Hey. Nice. All right. Well, that's it.
Yes.
Popcorn Culture's done. That's it. We're done with the show. It's over. We're out of here.
Yep.
Let's get going. 1, 2, 3.
And that was a podcast called Fred.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for the latest Fred content.
If you like to listen to Freddy Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future content just like this one. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on the way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes.
I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I'm gonna make my name up in here, Michael Lister. And you just experienced a podcast called Fred. Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the doctor is in, and I need to go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet right now. I need to go to the toilet.
You're gonna make me go. Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Laters, gators.
And see.